or 0% APR. Also hot off the presses, new Terrain leases at $299 per month. That's right, $299 per month on new GMC Terrain leases. So please stop on in the store or online at copplecars.com. Stock numbers G138852 and G16518 $2,500 down with proof credit.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Is your furnace ready for winter? Call Bryant to perform a thorough check for comfort and peace of mind. 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. Whatever it takes.
Just got the brakes fixed on my car today.
You did? You haven't even left the office.
I didn't need to. I got a guy who picks up my car and drops it off when it's done.
Well, who's your guy?
Graham Tire. They have pickup and delivery service at all 5 of their Lincoln locations.
Schedule your service online on the Pickup and Delivery tab at GrahamTireLincoln.com. That's GrahamTireLincoln.com. Let us do the running. Some limitations apply. See store for details.
A lot of people in the summertime think, gee, I want to build a new home. By the time they go through the process of sitting down, getting the permits, and getting the home started, the home isn't done until January or February.
Bob Benish of Aspen Builders, and they've built neighborhoods in and around Lincoln for over 25 years.
I think the best time to start designing your new home is the month of January, because get an early start on it. Sit down, the snow's flying, let's sit around the table, let's drop some plans, let's put numbers together, let's get a budget put together, and let's get that thing started so that the home's done in summer or fall before school starts. So now is really the time to be contacting us to get an appointment to get the job done.
Make your dream a reality and call Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at aspenbuildersinc.com. Your dream home is waiting at Aspen Builders.
A membership with John Henry's will fast track you to front of the line service, seasonal tune-ups, and far fewer unexpected moments. That means no breakdowns, no waiting on a call, and no nonsense. It's consistent care that prevents small issues from turning into big bills. Join the Comfort Club and get VIP treatment 365 days a year with 24-hour priority response, member-only discounts, and peace of mind on your home's most expensive systems. Call John Henry's.
John Henry's Plumbing.
And electrical.
For remote starters, audio upgrades, and more, there's only one place to go. Auto Sounds of Lincoln at 48th and O.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
Shopping for new flooring is different today. Getting your questions answered, making the right selection, getting the best value, and installed quickly and professionally. Visit ostreetcarpet.com or shop our store. We'll answer all your questions and help you make the right choice. You'll be enjoying your new floor in just days for less than you'd pay elsewhere. Carpet, vinyl, wood, laminate, tile, and area rugs. We've got it all.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program by building a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today. If you're seeking a career with a growing company, Gaina Trucking and Excavating is hiring and looking for additions to their team. Gaina Trucking has a strong team culture, competitive pay, 401ks, and benefits like health, dental, and vision. Drivers are guaranteed 40 hours per week, even in the winter months, and are home every night. Start your career today at Gaina Trucking and Excavating. Apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Rico here with HIS Auto Care at 70th and Van Dorn, letting you know HIS is a great place to bring your vehicle for service. With superior service, bumper to bumper, we'll treat your vehicle like it's your mother's. Doesn't get any better than that. So call 402-488-8934 and HIS Auto will make you glad you did. 5% off, mention this ad, and for sure your mother will be proud you called. 402-488-8934, HIS Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
Welcome to The Drive with Aaron Davis and Nick Sainert. Former football national champion, speaker, and author Aaron Davis.
Pain is a teacher if you use it. And the lessons in the carnage of pain sometimes are elusive. They hide, they're stealth. The work is finding the lessons through the pain. There's always a message in the mess. Depends on if we want to get dirty and look for it.
Nick Sainer.
Driving left side is Boyer, picks up his dribble, looking for some help, decides to go up strong with it, and the layup will rattle home. Jack Riley picks the pocket of B.J. Bradford up the floor to Jack Ostrider. Watch out! Mafisi in the lane, kicks it out. 3-ball, Townsley, right wing, it's good!
It's on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome to this magnificent Winner's Circle Monday. We're talking about the men's Husker basketball that goes into the Assembly Hall and disassembles quite a bit of Hoosier hopes inside of there. Women dropped to number 4 UCLA last night. We'll get those, but didn't want to bury the lead with the men taking care of business. Win. And before we do that, the biggest lead of the day.
This is so sad.
Folks, I honestly felt sorry for Swim.
I appreciate that.
And if you were listening on Friday, just to catch you up in case you didn't listen, me and Nick placed a wager on the point spread of the Indiana-Oregon Duck game.
Yep.
I said Indiana by 10 or more. Nick says, I'm going with Oregon.
Yeah.
At first, we just agreed to points only. And then I said, how about agony sets?
Yeah.
Just to let you know.
I'm going to be in agony.
Yeah, he's definitely going to be in
so much
and
agony.
Dan Dixon, my neighbor, Dan, what's up? Dan texted me this morning when I was at the gym. He goes, hey, ask him if I should bring Icy Hot to D-Bat after all those push-ups.
I got to meet him the other day.
You met Dan?
I met Dan the other day. And
DD's
so,
a good guy,
he's a great guy. But
don't mess with him. He's like an 8-degree black belt or something.
Well,
like
I'm not going to be messing with anybody. I've specifically over the last 3 days, as I've gone to the gym all 3 days.
Did you wear the weight vest?
I wore the weighted vest every day.
What do you think?
Hey, man, it kicks my butt. I mean, you need like 20 minutes. So I'll literally go 20 minutes on like a 12 incline at 3.5 miles per hour. And just, it's a brisk walk. But man, at that incline and that 25-pound vest on me, it's intense. It's intense. But here's the deal. I specifically have not lifted arms, shoulders, chest on purpose because I knew what was waiting for me Monday through Friday. And I say Monday through Friday because there is no way I'm doing 595 push-ups in one day.
Nick owes me 595 push-ups. Agony sets, folks. We did it by the difference of the score.
Yeah.
Okay. They ended up winning 56-22. So if he would have just agreed to points only, he would have only thrown me 34 push-ups.
Which is nothing. I mean, that'd be easy. I can knock that out right now.
Knock that out in like 10 seconds.
Yeah.
However, it's an integer, so he has to go 34, 33, 32, all the way down to 1. So it totaled up. Big thanks to DF and Raf, our scorekeepers.
They were right on top.
They were right on
the
top.
entire time.
And Raf was letting you know that's 600. It got up to what one time?
It was up to over 700 at one point.
Yeah.
But gosh, what a massive touchdown by Oregon in garbage time, man. I mean, I was sweating it out more than I do like going sports bet. I mean, it was a beautiful garbage time touchdown.
On the text.
Yeah,
like the count from Sesame Street. That's 720,
yes.
Nick.
Yep, and we got down to 595. Once it got above 600, I was like, oh no, this is. And Indiana wasn't going to stop.
No.
So I thought, oh no, and it looked like Oregon wasn't going to start, and so I was like, oh no. So I think my plan of attack is, I'm trying to figure out the best way to do this. If I should just go Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, knock them out. That's 125 a day.
Mm-hmm.
Knock them out in.
Now, always got to be here to watch.
Yep. That's why I haven't done any yet.
Mm-hmm.
Try to knock them out in 4 consecutive days, or if it'd be smart for me to go Monday, Tuesday, take Wednesday off, Thursday, Friday.
Troy, good morning. He goes, I feel for you, Swim.
Yeah.
And Troy, I tell you, his whole chest, and DF, yes, because 595 push-ups are waiting for that tail, and they are. Swim, I applaud you because on call, I'm not going to do the on call because we're here for 2 hours, Monday through Friday, so you'll get him knocked out. But, Swim, we got a full show for you guys this morning, and it's a lot going on. Of course, the Husker
Men take care of business. We're going to talk about that a ton on the other side. Husker ladies fall to number 4 UCLA last night, which a game to where we'll obviously dive into that. Then at 9:25, we're diving in deep into men's Husker basketball. They erase a 16-point deficit for the second time this year in a very hostile environment there at Assembly Hall in Indy. We got sports history. And then Nebraska, it seems all points that they've hired their defensive line coach in Corey Brown. Also, portal news. There is a 3-day quiet period going on right now because of the American Football Coaches Association meetings that are going on. So the portal closes Friday the 16th. You can imagine after this 3-day period when there's going to be a lot more action. And Nebraska did more than I thought they were going to do as well. Not good or not bad or anything like that, but there were some good numbers in there that I saw, some names that popped up. I had to do a lot of research on, like you did as well, because I know we are a pretty astute fan base. So you looked at that as well. And then we can't ignore Oregon, the beatdown they put. They have won by combined 69 points in their last 2 games. This is the freaking playoffs, and they've outscored their opponents by 69 points in their last 2 games. Well, of course, at the end of the show, give our predictions for tonight's Steelers versus Texans games. We'll briefly go over the NFL. We'll have more of that tomorrow when all the games are done for this weekend as far as that goes. But the Steelers take on the Texans at Acrisure Stadium there in Pittsburgh tonight, 7:15 kickoff. ESPN, ABC Sports, so that'll be good as well. Swim, the lead, though.
Yeah.
The massive lead we got going into today. And I want to I was putting this together this morning, man, about Nebraska basketball because, and I was thinking about just kind of the opening monologue. What do I want to say? Well, first of all, what separates good teams from special teams is not how they play. It's when things are going bad and how they keep going in the opposite direction, how they stay stable. It's how you respond. Nebraska was dead in the water. They were down 16 points in Assembly Hall. Indiana could not miss for a while. They had not lost, folks. That was their first home game loss of the season. And what does Nebraska do? It's very similar characteristics to Coach Hoiberg. They didn't flinch. They didn't rush. They just started playing. They didn't start playing hero basketball either. They just started executing. It wasn't luck. Indiana wasn't necessarily collapsing. Nebraska chose composure. And you noticed how tight and tense, and particularly Wilkerson, how he got Wilkerson. He just tensed up. A lot of them did tensed up. Jamarc, what can you say about Jamarcus Lawrence?
I'll say this about Wilkerson. It all started when Nebraska was able to pick up the 4th foul on Tucker DeFries.
Yes.
When Tucker got out of the game, Indiana's offense collapsed. I mean, big time. And I thought that I have a lot of opinions. I don't know if right now is the time for them or later in the conversation. The folks that are having the fraud conversation on the national level,
please stop.
They're scraping the bottom of the barrel for things time and time again. They are scraping the bottom of the barrel. I have a lot of thoughts on that we'll talk to. But Jamar, man,
27 points,
27 career high. One of the most successful players for Nebraska in Assembly Hall history.
What'd you say?
One of the most successful players in terms of scoring the basketball, because 2 years ago when he was here and Nebraska went to Assembly Hall, he had himself a pretty nice day as well.
Now, I know this is not the AP, but Nebraska, according to CBS, they put Nebraska at number 4.
Yeah, that might be a tad high.
It's a tad high.
I think you see Nebraska come in at 7 or 8 this week.
Dude, just the simple fact. Those of you text in, if you were old and if this, well, first of all, it's history for all of us. It's only the second time Nebraska started off 5-0 in the conference. It's 1956, 57, I believe what it is. But it's the first time they've reached this pinnacle at 16-0. So you think about this one. Man. Folks, text us in your initial thoughts after Nebraska's victory. Did you have to go for a walk of just out of exhilaration? Were you just in shock? Because Swim, I was up, and I think I sent that to you guys last night before I went to bed. It was like a 6 or 7 minute recap on the new basketball on their Twitter handle, X handle. And I'm just watching this.
Yeah, it's a cinematic recap that they've been putting out.
Yeah, look at Nebraska's cinematic recap on X. Swim, this is so foreign to me. And I say it's even more foreign to me just because I've been alive twice so long you have. And it's just, none of us have.
Yeah.
But it's just hard for me to grasp the magnitude of saying Nebraska and Duke in the same breath when it comes to basketball.
Yeah, and it not be for, the incorrect reasons. This is a massive deal for Nebraska right now, and I don't know, guys. I think that we're starting to see a shift. Nebraska basketball. You look at what they're going to be bringing in next year as well. Sure, certainly they're going to have to go to the portal for a couple of pieces. But when you look at a couple of the pieces that they have going forward, I don't know if we see Oogie come back this year because it was the cutoff for the medical hardship, medical red shirt, if you will. And so I don't know if we'll see Oogie come back this year because I think that's a person that and a player that they feel like can maybe shoulder the load of what Rink Mast will leave next season. And I don't know. I think every single game there's somebody new that shows up and rises to the occasion. That shows up and rises. And on Saturday, it was Jamarcus Lawrence. Previous games, it's been Price Sanford on the road at Illinois. We haven't even seen, and text line, correct me if you feel a different way about this. We haven't even seen the best of Rink Mast. Offensively, we have not seen the best of Rink Mast. Now, he's made some big shots down the stretch, right? The 3-pointer against Michigan State certainly stands out. There was a couple of turnarounds
against Illinois.
That against Indiana that he had a nice game against Illinois as well. But we have yet to really see Rink go off for like what we saw him do against Wisconsin or Purdue 2 seasons ago. So it's kind of, there was so much talk at the start of this whole thing when Nebraska was like 8-0, 9-0. There was so much talk about whether or not that was the ceiling for Husker basketball. And like that they were playing their best basketball in November and December. And that's an issue because you want to be playing your best basketball in March. We hear Fred Hoiberg say it all the time. I think there's tangible things you can point to AD and say, yeah, you know what? They aren't playing their best basketball. Maybe collectively they're playing exceptionally well, but they're finding ways to win. And that's what we say every single game. After every single game these last 3 weeks, what have we said? They just found a way to win. It's not like they beat Indiana on a last-second shot like they had to against Illinois. They beat it by 6. Now, it's not a wide margin by any means. They gave up a couple of real garbage time, easy layups. That was a double-digit Nebraska lead at one point late in the game on Saturday after they were down by 16. They completely took over that basketball game on Saturday.
Took over the entire
and it was so much fun to watch.
Swim, Nebraska waited. They trusted the run. They had a 13-0 run, that then a 16-1 stretch late. You know, that's a team that Fred keeps talking about. Guys, they're saying we don't blank and belong here. Well, let's just keep proving it. And he goes, we're not satisfied. So whether it's Nebraska's team is different, the answer is yes. We've won ugly, they've won late, they've won away from home. And again, like Coach Hoiberg has taught those guys, boys win at home, men win on the road. And they definitely exerted their will and literally just had Indiana flustered. So this is not hype. This has become habit now.
Yeah.
You know, the first 8 games, okay, hype. Because I wasn't even bought in yet, Swim. I'm like, okay, they look good. But because of past receipts, we were waiting for the collapse. This is not hype. Nebraska's shown this has become habit in who they are. And I'm going to say this. I keep saying this to myself, Swim, and I'll say it to everyone out there. Let's enjoy it. Because we've never seen this before. And unless you're a Duke or your traditional blue bloods in collegiate basketball, this is not normal for a team to do what they're doing right now, man.
Yeah.
So I guess the biggest thing for me is I'm just enjoying this fantastic ride that those young men are taking.
I love how they're able to stabilize it. It just feels like, I think fans, we ask for, and mostly I'm talking football in this case, we ask for stability. We ask for continuity. And I think that when you look at Nebraska football over the last couple of years, and this even predates Matt Rule, this is not a Matt Rule conversation. It's been a case of Nebraska will sneak themselves into the top 25 or whatever the case may be, maybe even the top 20. They might win a game when they're in the top 25, but then the next week they kind of lay an egg. And with Nebraska men's basketball, you can look at it with a 5,000-foot view, or you can zoom out and look at it with a 50,000-foot view. And the thing that's most notable, and I think the most enjoyable thing when you look back on these last couple of seasons, it's just been a steady nose in the dirt, just build. And it's been gradual, and it just feels so stable. In this day and age of college athletics, this is the biggest thing to me, biggest thing that I notice. Nebraska basketball has utilized the transfer portal, right? Jamarcus Lawrence, who just dropped 27 on Saturday, is an indication of that. Nebraska's utilized the portal, but you look at what Nebraska's been able to do. The basketball program doesn't feel like a house of cards.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't feel like a house of cards with Fred Hoiberg at the helm and Nate Lenzer along his side and Ernie Ziegler, who probably doesn't get enough credit, and Luca Virgilio, who's been there since the start of Fred Hoiberg's tenure. It just feels so strong. And so even if Nebraska were to lose one of those games on the road last weekend, and Nebraska was to maybe lose by double digits against Indiana on Saturday, I think I still have the same expectation for what they'll do to Oregon tomorrow. And it's they're going to win. They're going to beat the Oregon Ducks at home. Nebraska will be 17-0 and 6-0 in the Big Ten Conference. And they are alone. They are all by themselves at the top of the conference standings right now. And it's through a substantial part of the season.
You know, a young man we'll talk more about on the other side when we come back and really dive into the numbers with Nebraska at the 9:25, 9:30 hour is Fortitude Frager. I mean, that dude, and we're going to talk more about him, but the big step back three and then the dunk.
Yeah.
And the superhero landing. It was just, there's so many stories in this game, Swim, because that young man, you're talking about, hasn't reached their ceiling yet. Obviously, he's a redshirt freshman. There's so many different things that stand. You know, Sanford hit a three on the right side of the corner. I was like, why in the heck do you take? Oh, good shot. You know, it was like, why'd you take that? Oh, good shot. So there's so many things about this game. There's so many storylines. The biggest one to me, Swim, is how you're down 16. And sometimes you're down that many, you begin to show panic. Nebraska never showed that.
No.
However, what you did see when Nebraska got within 4, you saw a different Indiana team because they started pressing, and pressure reveals or it busts.
Well, and look at, I mean, here's the thing that I think Nebraska, when we talk about stability and how they've built this thing, we when Fred Hoiberg got here, think about the mindset. So much of it was offense, shoot the basketball, score the basketball. That's how you're going to win games. Then they kind of shifted, and Nate Lenzer showed up, and Adam Howard previously, prior to leaving for NC State last year. They really started to invest on the defensive side of the floor. And you look at what happened, whether it was for Indiana, Oregon, right? And what could have been if Oregon could have gotten a couple of more stops. It has to start on the defensive end. You got to get stops. And you saw that Nebraska, and one thing that I love and appreciate about this staff so much is that they just don't get over dramatic. Like they don't act like the ship is sinking, or they don't look like the sky is falling at one slight run. And I think what we've learned as fans just watching these teams, especially in the Big Ten Conference, is that at some point the opponents, whether that's Indiana, Ohio State, Michigan State, they all three did it. Or Illinois, even for that matter. What are they going to do? At some point over the 40-minute game, they're going to go on a run. And can you weather the run just enough? Maybe Indiana got a little too much of a run, right? Up by 16 at one point, maybe a little bit too much of a differential for you to want to overcome every game. But can you then weather the ship and just slowly, steadily climb back? And Nebraska did that, and it was like a constrictor, just slowly starting to suffocate their prey. It started with one stop and then a 3-point shot. It started with another stop, right? I always make a joke to my friends whenever we're watching a game and a team that we want to win is losing. It's step 1, get a stop. Step 2, score. Step 3, repeat step 1. And that's exactly what we saw play out on Saturday.
We were watching that game. I was watching my buddy Troy Bothy and Johnny Porter, and Johnny played college basketball and played overseas as well. He looked at us. They were down 16, but then he dropped one and got down to 14 or 13, whatever it was. And he goes, one bite at a time is how you eat an elephant. And it was like, it was weird that he said at the time, because that's exactly what they started doing, is they just said one stop bucket. I don't
think we understand also the best part. Jamarcus Lawrence, when he pulled up from the left wing to drain the three and tie the game, I believe it was to tie it. That is a big time shot. You know what 95% of college basketball players would have done in that case? And part of it could have been he was just feeling it. It was his day, and Nebraska was on a run. He had a guy one-on-one. And most of the time, you're going to go right at him. You're going to probably draw a foul. Maybe you get an and one opportunity. That man pulled up on the road, silenced the crowd. And at that point, when Jamarcus Lawrence hit that three, there was zero doubt in my mind that Nebraska was winning that game. There is a different look that when there's teams that can hit those shots and they willingly choose to hit those shots, that is a different team. Nebraska showed that from a foundational standpoint right now, Nebraska showed that they are a better team than Indiana.
Swim, before we hop into ladies real fast, when you pull up on a shot like that, we used to call it on South Street, when you would pull up and just hit a shot on somebody, just dead in the face, it was just butter.
Yeah.
And he did that a number of times. Well, obviously, Sam, huge game. We'll get into the numbers and the stats. Frager, Sanford. There were so many guys that stepped in, which we'll discuss in numbers. Before we go to break, I want to dive into the women last night. So I watched that game while I was watching the Patriots game last night. Nebraska was just overmatched last night against UCLA. Swim, the height, the physicality, and the athleticism was apparent in last night's game. And as that game started off, Nebraska was doing their best just to stay within striking distance, but they ended up losing 61-56. Pinnacle Bank Arena, they dropped to 14-3 overall, 3-3 in the Big Ten. UCLA, we talked about this on Friday. The only loss they've had is the number 2 Texas.
Yeah,
that's all they've lost.
They lost 83-61.
83-61. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm looking at halftime. I'm
sorry,
sorry, different score. 83-61.
Yeah.
So the thing that stood out about that was Lauren Betts. She dominated both ends. She had 18 points. The big gal was the twin. She's a twin. 18 points, 10 rebounds, 5 steals, 4 blocks. 18 points, 10 rebounds, 5 steals, 4 blocks. Swim, she disrupted Nebraska. She was scoring on one end, swatting shots on the other. Then you add in Gianna Neekpins, Charlize Ledger, and Walker. They all closed the door. They had 6 players in double figures. 6 in double figures. Prince, she tried to light it up late, but it was in the fourth quarter. She got 11 over 20 points. But Amaya Hargrove helped out with 12 off the bench. Logan Nisley was 3 of 5 from deep. But Swim, the tail of the tape literally was the height, the physicality, and the athleticism. But mostly, we had no answer for Lauren Betts inside the middle.
Yeah, Lauren Betts, I mean, somebody that you knew coming in. She's an Olympian. She plays for Team USA as well. She was the number 1 rated recruit back in 2022 when she got to UCLA. Last year was a first-team All-American, was a finalist for the Player of the Year award, was the National Defensive Player of the Year winner. UCLA is a national championship contender, and we just learned that Nebraska's just not quite there yet.
We're not there yet. The final score, as you mentioned, is 83-61. Nebraska has a quick turnaround. They play Thursday night in East Lansing. Another top 20 opponent, another measuring stick. So that'll be 6 p.m. on the Big Ten Network. Swim, this was one of those games to where you simply say, you know what? You don't have anyone on your roster. That's just the bottom line. That's matching up with Lauren Betts. And most teams in the country don't.
Yeah, no. Most teams, that's very, very similar to USC. I mean, just playing out there, I mean, it's different. And so they're able to come in and do their job. Nebraska women's basketball will be fine. They'll be a tournament team. Not too concerned about that part, but they need to figure out a couple of things. Maya Hargrove led the way in scoring with 12 points. Britt Prince was held relatively quiet. I can't remember the last time we didn't see Britt Prince up higher than 12 points in scoring, right? And so just an area that Nebraska probably can learn a lot from. But the good thing is for both of these teams, Nebraska men's basketball, which we'll talk more about on the other side because I want to get to the national conversation that people are having about Husker hoops. But both sides, quick turnarounds, man. Both sides. Nebraska men's basketball plays Tuesday.
Folks, we come back. We'll hop right on that, break down more between the numbers. Nebraska's monumental 16-point lead deficit they erased there in Indy. We'll discuss when we come back. It's The Drive. It's Monday.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC. And wow, what a year it was at Koppel. The Koppel family would like to say thank you for a record-setting sales year in 2025. Now let's start 2026 off with the bang. New GMC Sierra pickups starting at $12,500 off list or 0% APR. Also hot off the presses, new Terrain leases at $299 per month. That's right, $299 per month on new GMC Terrain leases. So please stop on in the store or online at koppelcars.com. Stock numbers G13885 and G165184, $2,500 down with proof credit.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program by building a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Shopping for new flooring is different today. Getting your questions answered, making the right selection, getting the best value, and installed quickly and professionally. Visit OStreetCarpet.com or shop our store. We'll answer all your questions and help you make the right choice. You'll be enjoying your new floor in just days for less than you'd pay elsewhere. Carpet, vinyl, wood, laminate, tile, and area rugs. We've got it all.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
MWR, a local company of Lincoln, is proud to announce they are able to offer their own post-frame building packages in metal to anyone desiring a building, whether you're a contractor or a DIYer. They can install your building as always, and they offer multiple different rib profiles and loads of color options, including the wood grain metal at great competitive prices. You can inquire at mwrbuildingandfence.com or just draw your desired building and submit it in their Contact Us page, and they'll get back to you. Call MWR today at 402-540-8966.
This is your year to win way more than bragging rights. At Warhorse Casino, your love of the game could earn you serious cash. The Pro Football Frenzy is free to play with cash prizes all season long, like up to $1,000 weekly, with your chance at $1 million, all while earning tier points and comp points every time you place a sports bet. Only at Warhorse Casino. Wagers may only be placed on Nebraska-based teams when played outside the state of Nebraska. Must be 21 or older to gamble. Gambling problem? Call 1-833-BET-OVER.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe.
All right, Lincoln, if you're a diesel technician who's ready to earn up to $40 an hour and you're tired of working nights and weekends, listen up. Inland Truck Parts and Service is hiring experienced diesel technicians right here in Lincoln, and they're offering what every hardworking tech wants. Monday through Friday hours, no nights, no weekends, and paid training on advanced diesel technology. With 37 locations across 12 states, career advancement opportunities are endless. Start building towards your future and apply today at inlandtruck.com. That's inlandtruck.com. Or text APPLY to 785-369-1320.
A lot of people in the summertime think, gee, I want to build a new home. By the time they go through the process of sitting down, getting the permits, and getting the home started, the home isn't done until January or February.
Bob Benish of Aspen Builders, and they've built neighborhoods in and around Lincoln for over 25 years.
I think the best time to start designing your new home is the month of January, because get an early start on it. Sit down, the snow's flying. Let's sit around the table. Let's drop some plans. Let's put numbers together. Let's get a budget put together, and let's get that thing started so that the home's done in summer or fall before school starts. So now is really the time to be contacting us to get an appointment to get the job done.
Make your dream a reality and call Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at aspenbuildersinc.com. Your dream home is waiting at Aspen Builders.
Golfing in 72 degrees and perfect conditions in Nebraska doesn't seem possible in December, but it is. Double Eagle Golf is your escape from the bone-chilling cold outside and a reason to keep the clubs out year-round. Book your holiday parties at Double Eagle Golf and make plans to join them for a New Year's Eve party. Gift cards make a great stocking stuffer for Christmas, and don't forget to look ahead to 2026 as spring leagues begin in February. That's all at Double Eagle Golf inside the Kinetic Sports Complex on West O Street. Online at doubleeagle.golf.
Hey guys, this is former UFC fighter and mixed martial artist Anthony Lionheart Smith. The Upside Bar and Lounge in South Lincoln is the go-to spot for every UFC event, prelims, and main card. There's never a cover, so make sure you get there early and stay late. Upside Bar and Lounge has daily specials, a margarita club, and a taco club. And don't forget, they just added Buzz Bowls to their menu. Learn more about upcoming events by visiting UpsideBarLNK.com and stop into their South Lincoln location for every UFC event on 27th and Pine Lake.
Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket immediately after every Nebraska men's basketball game for 1 hour of post-game recap. The Nebraska Basketball Postgame Show is sponsored by Union Bank and Trust, John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electrical, and the Lincoln Airport on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
A membership with John Henry's will fast track you to front of the line service, seasonal tune-ups, and far fewer unexpected moments. That means no breakdowns, no waiting on a call, and no nonsense. It's consistent care that prevents small issues from turning into big bills. Join the Comfort Club and get VIP treatment 365 days a year with 24-hour priority response, member-only discounts, and peace of mind on your home's most expensive systems. Call John Henry's.
John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air.
And electrical.
Now back to The Drive with Aaron Davis and Nick Sainert on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, folks, we are back. Swim is back. He just knocked out 25 push-ups.
A little tougher than I thought they were going to be. I got 570 to, oh my gosh, 570 more to go.
Dude, you have them done by kickoff.
January 19th, I hope so.
No,
Yeah.
In the fall.
In the fall, yeah. Yeah. Oof.
Oh, man. Folks, this segment is brought to you by Jack Russell
brutal,
of Farm
man.
Bureau Services. Jack can help protect your home, your vehicle, your family, maybe your chest if you're a swim as well.
Yeah. I'm going to be jacked, man.
He's been a well-represented rep for Farm Bureau since 1999. You are going to be swole, man.
I'm going to be, never mind, I can't say that on air. Going out of the shirt.
You can reach Jack at 402-421-9100, 402-421-9100. Again, he can help protect your home, your family, vehicle, even your future, or visit one of his 2 locations in Lincoln or in Seward and learn how Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services can help you. Folks, Nebraska basketball, obviously we know that is the main story.
Not frauds.
Yeah, they are. I think they've proven that. And in case the people are wondering, it's kind of like Fred had said in their cinematic video the other night, you know what? Just keep proving people wrong, one game at a time. They go into Assembly Hall and come away with an 83-77 victory. The first, Indiana was 10-0 at home prior to Nebraska's first home game loss that Nebraska handed them. Jamarcus Lawrence put on a show, 27 points, 16 points in the second half. 5 3-burgers, 5 3-pointers. The stat, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, and 3 steals. 27 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, and 3 steals. And there's one man I do not want to forget. Obviously, Frager, we know that. But the guy, I call him the catalyst. He's the spark plug. Sam.
Yeah.
Team high 5 assists and 3 steals.
Can I just, okay, so this is what I would also add with Nebraska men's basketball. They are easy to cheer for. Mm-hmm. Like the dudes on the team are easy to cheer for. Mm-hmm. And the way they play. Like this is, I can't say it enough. This is just so much fun. This is so much fun. And fans, folks, here's the deal. We're gonna look and watch this AP poll drop in the next 2 hours or so, and your Husker men's basketball team is going to be firmly in the top 10.
Yeah,
they are firmly in the top 10, and they've gone through a rather difficult stretch. Like this was a meaningful stretch. I remember the conversations AD you and I had at the start of the season. Okay, get through the non-con. Right? Maybe you take a loss or 2 in the non-con. You can weather that, right? Mm-hmm. But then we're going to learn a lot about this team against Illinois and then at home against Wisconsin. And then you go on the road for these 2 games. We're going to learn a lot about them. None of us predicted that Nebraska would be 16-0 and 5-0 in the conference.
No.
But man, oh man, they're fun to watch.
So I'm going to say this real quick.
Yeah.
Just as a real quick retraction. Because there were a few people that were very nice. One individual just like, I wish there was some more reliable.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I misspoke. Yeah. I misspoke. I thought Nebraska had 5 quad 1 wins because, to be fair, What happens with the quad ones, we talked about this. It goes off of their net rankings. And if they are one here, I have their sheet pulled up right now. If they are 1 through 50 1 through 30 in the net rankings at the time Nebraska plays them, then it's a quad 1 victory. Well, if it's at home, if it's on a neutral site, if the opponent is net ranking 1 through 50, it's a quad 1 win. If it's on the road and it's a net ranking the opponent has of 1 through 75 in the country, then it's a quad 1 win. I was pretty sure that Creighton at one point when they played Nebraska was still in the top 30 when they played at home in Lincoln. And I thought I counted that as a quad 1 win. It is not. It's a quad 2 win. And so now Nebraska has 5 quad 1 wins. It wasn't even 80. It was me. I misspoke.
Swim. Big
Add
deal.
it to the list.
Big deal.
Add it to the list of things.
It was something. Yeah. So to the folks that were very kind on X, thank you so much. The other ones, you know what? To you too, we still love you.
Thanks for listening.
Understand. Yeah. Thanks for listening. Just understand. Sometimes there's slips.
Oh, yeah.
You know, ours just happens to happen live on air. Lord knows I made a billion of them. But Nick,
no, you don't.
Oh, yes, I do. The thing that we don't slip about, I love you. There's not a slip about rank mass. You know, I want to read a few of these texts first because I don't want to be remiss with these. IQ Crew, good morning. He goes, in regards to Nebraska basketball and the football program as well, you have to learn to crawl before you walk. You're exactly right, my brother. And learn to walk before you can run. The finished product in winning is usually the last to be noticed. Kudos to the Nebraska basketball Husker Nation for the patience in Hoiberg and crew. I can only hope that Rule and Company are on a similar trajectory. Well said, my brother. Unknown texter, Nebraska, unknown texter 0658 says they're easy to cheer for. You're exactly right. Bust their backside, zero egos. No one has to get theirs. And you were spot on with that, Nick, because I'm not sure how this would have necessarily worked out. If Rank would have played last year, you got Juwan Gary, you got Bryce.
I think last year would have been okay. Difficult. I think last year would have been okay. I look back at the first 3 years of Fred Hoiberg, and I say I'm not sure how this would have worked out.
Oh,
that's what I would have said.
It would.
Now, we have about 4 minutes until we need another break.
And then we're going to come back on history because Nebraska basketball is making history, so we'll talk about it some more.
But here's the deal, and this is the story. Yeah, okay, so here, I'll throw this in there. Dylan Raiola committed to Oregon. Okay, we'll talk about it at some point. But that's not what we need to really talk about right now. With Nebraska men's basketball, there's been a lot of national pundits. I'm going to name 2, Jeff Goodman and Joe Lunardi.
Swim, why do you think this? I mean, obviously, besides the obvious Nebraska asset, but why do you think it's almost like there's consternation in
here's the deal.
Though?
I don't get that. I say this with 100%, just trying to take the fact that we are fans of Nebraska basketball aside. If you are in the boat of calling Nebraska basketball frauds, or if you are wanting to try to scrape the bottom of the barrel and figure out a way to where you're not giving Nebraska basketball respect, the notoriety, the publicity that they probably deserve at 16-0, one of the 5 undefeated teams remaining, along with Arizona, Iowa State, Miami of Ohio, Vanderbilt, and Nebraska are your 5 now that Michigan took a home loss to Wisconsin over the weekend. That just goes to show, guys, I think that's another piece of it. It's hard to go undefeated. It's relatively impossible to go undefeated because on one day, it takes you one day for a 15-minute span of a game. Indiana thought Nebraska was going to lose. We thought Nebraska might have lost to Indiana, but it took bad 15 minutes of basketball for Indiana for the wheels to fall off. And so the same way that the wheels fell off for Indiana, the very same, just because basketball is this way, the very same way it could have fallen off for Nebraska. So I think it's important to mention that it's not easy. It's not expected to go undefeated for an entire season.
No, it's definitely not, man. Here's some of the historic numbers that are going. I mean, just how the comeback happened. Nebraska, of course, was down 51-35 early in the second half. They went on a 13-0 run to tie the game. Later, 16-1 run to seize control. Final 17 minutes, Nebraska plus 22.
Yeah.
Swim, I want to get your point on this. This team does not panic.
Never.
It responds.
We have yet to see them panic. And we saw a little bit of a glimpse towards the end of the first half. We saw Nebraska start to take a little bit of some maybe more ill-advised shots. On Saturday towards the end of the first half. I think, as weird as this is going to sound, halftime came at a really crucial time for Nebraska. They needed to stop the bleeding, and they needed to hope that Indiana was going to maybe get a little colder, and they come out, and Lamar Wilkerson ends up drilling the 3 to start the second half. I just think here is what I would say. So right now, Joe Lunardi has Nebraska, and this is where we see it's not even conference bias, I think. I think it's just more so nobody wants to take Nebraska seriously. Joe Lunardi has Nebraska lower in his bracket rankings than Vanderbilt. And Jeff Goodman, and when I say scraping the bottom of the barrel, Jeff Goodman comes out on his little Field of 68 thing and is saying, look, Nebraska's good, but are they a Elite 8 good? Nobody around this basketball program really cares, gives a damn about if Nebraska makes the Elite 8. Would it be great? Sure. Is there possibility? Is there potential? Absolutely. Make it to weekend 2. Can you imagine, AD, I was driving in thinking about this. Can you imagine if Nebraska basketball, let's walk down a hypothetical road here. Nebraska basketball is a 3 seed. Very well, if they continue this type of play and they even drop a couple, very well could be a 2 seed. But I'll go a little more conservative and say 3 seed. If Nebraska basketball is a 3 seed in the NCAA tournament, I saw Bart Torvik, if we want to put percentage points on it, Bart Torvik put Nebraska to advance to the second round, the round of 32, at over 87%. And then on top of that, to advance to the Sweet 16, 59% after the win against Indiana on Saturday. So let's just play the percentage game. Nebraska wins on Friday, and then 2 days later in the round of 32, they win on Sunday. They survive another week. Like that is here. I'm telling you. So like when we talk about national pundits not giving Nebraska respect, Dan from Canopy says, stop 1 game at a time. Go Big Red. This is me defending Nebraska. This is me saying, take it 1 game at a time. This is me telling all the national folks that don't want to give Nebraska any sort of respect or notoriety or publicity for what they are actually doing this season. Forget about the history. Forget about the fact that you have not won a single NCAA tournament game in your history. They're 16-0 and 5-0 in the conference. The team that you guys were all just drooling over, Michigan, just lost at home to Wisconsin, a team Nebraska beat by 30.
Hey, Nick, you see what I'm doing right now with my water? My daddy would sit on the back porch with his glass of water, and he would just sit back and I said, Dad, what are you doing? Just enjoying outside.
We do not.
I'm just enjoying watching this. I'm enjoying those numbers you're talking about. I'm just enjoying it. We're not trying to put
we
the
don't care about the Elite 8. I could care less if Nebraska makes the Elite 8.
Enjoying the ride.
Make the round of 32.
Just enjoying watching Nebraska.
Stop trying to do this whole is Nebraska fraudulent. No, you know why? Because they just went on the road 2 times in the same week and just beat 2 competent basketball teams.
Swim, I got a text during the game, me and some buddies, a lot of us, we have different text groups and DFs going, oh, different friend group. But we have different groups that we'll text back and forth.
Yeah, different friends.
But yeah. Tom Massey, good buddy of mine. Funny as heck if you don't know Tom Massey, but Tom is hilarious. But Tom had a great point during the game. He said here in that he just goes, maybe out of energy. And I thought that was a point. It was a very good point. And I said, and I came back, I said, agreed, it's been a grind. Because, Nick, to your point, just on Tuesday night, they were in Columbus, Ohio, and they had to come back and take care of business in that one. A quick recap of that game. Nebraska, they went on Monday night, they went on a 9-0 run to defeat Ohio State 72-69, okay? Nebraska led for the majority of the game and found itself trailing 58-57 with under 5 minutes to play. And then they went on a 9-0 run. That was just on Monday night in another hostile environment where they were going against, obviously a tough team and 2 commentators that obviously must have been Ohio State grads.
Yeah.
Nevertheless, they found a way to win. And so when Tom sent me that, I'm like, you know what? They kind of look like they're kind of running in cement a little bit. Like the energy just wasn't there.
And they still won.
And they came out. It was like,
I don't know, man.
What happened?
I just and this isn't me trying to be like Nebraska versus the world, but I'm telling you right now, they're just giving Nebraska more bulletin board material. And I actually do appreciate, and I'm glad that there's so much made across multiple sports about, hey, are you hearing about what this is saying? And so much we get the diplomatic answer of like, oh no, we don't care about what's going on outside. We don't care about what everybody else is saying. We're just going to take care of ourselves. Nah, screw that. Like, I'm glad to hear that Fred Hoiberg is like, hey, man, look, everybody on the outside's doubting you guys. Are you guys satisfied? Hell no.
Swim, say it with your chest.
Like,
you got
no,
left of your
right?
chest.
Like, no. So, yeah, right. That's sore. I don't got much chest to say it with. No, I
we'll
just
say
think
10 toes down instead.
Yeah. So I just think like this is me saying that this is not a fluke. This is not a fraudulent team. Nebraska, if you look, and the people that once again scraping the bottom of the barrel of talking about Nebraska's schedule, because there's been a lot on social media about Nebraska's schedule. Let's look at Vanderbilt's schedule, who they're ranking above Nebraska in a lot of these. Okay, this is the schedule for Vanderbilt. Lipscomb, Eastern Kentucky, Arkansas Pine Bluff, Texas Southern, Western Kentucky, SMU, Central Arkansas, Wake Forest, New Haven, South Carolina. They just got their most impressive win, and it's an impressive win over Alabama. But do not tell me that if Nebraska was given that schedule as well, that they would not be 16-0, because they would be. The same way that we're giving Vanderbilt all the respect nationally, Nebraska deserves that as well. Forget the history. Forget the fact. Look at this season and isolate it simply as just this season. Nebraska's doing some spectacular things. They continue to show out game after game, and it's about time we recognize that.
Some final numbers before we go to break and come back. 16-0 overall, 5-0 the Big Ten, 20-game winning streak. That's a school record. 3-0 Big Ten road wins, first time since 1975, 1976. 5 straight wins versus Indiana, which that stat jumped out to me, the first longest streak in series history. And as you mentioned, Nick, now it's 5 quad 1 wins.
Now they do have 5. I was a little jumping the gun.
That's all right. That's all right.
Okay. They're 5-0 in the net.
Ranked
in quad
Mass,
1.
13 points. Plus, it was his 1,000th career rebound. He took care of that at Assembly Hall as well. Price Sanford, 12 big points. Brendan Frager, the finisher, 11 off the bench. Of course, we talked about Hoiberg, 5 assists, 3 steals. And J Money, LaMarcus Lawrence ended up with 27 piece. Was just a huge deal. Nick, tomorrow night's game against Oregon. Of course, that welcomes back Dana Altman. Oregon is a team to where these are the teams I worry about the most. Oregon comes in at 1-4 in the conference, 8-8 overall. Nebraska's done a good job, Swim, though, of not overlooking everyone, living in game-tight compartments. And that's a kudos to the whole coaching staff and each one of those individuals. Folks, when we come back, heck, we talked about history right there.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll do a little snippet.
We have to, yeah.
We'll do a little snippet of history when we come back. It's The Drive, 937 Ticket.
Empire Netting and Fence delivers top-quality netting and fence solutions. From major sports venues to backyard installs and everything in between, coast to coast. We take on tough jobs with grit, integrity, and a strong commitment to safety. Empire is growing, and we're hiring motivated people ready to grow with us. We build each other up, and we're building something big. Think you've got what it takes? Apply now at empire-fence.com. That's empire-fence.com.
Nutrition Authority presents Fusion 30, an ultra premium protein ideal for anyone wanting to look, feel, and perform their best. Fusion 30 can only be found at Nutrition Authority. Stop in today for a free sample, visit with a certified nutritionist, and get better than internet pricing. For store info, visit mynutritionauthority.com.
Bauer Underground has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know that the best workers in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and a pedigree of success. They're offering top-notch benefits, a matching 401k, and a $600 per year clothing allowance. Bauer Underground, a family-friendly company with plenty of room for advancement.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
Hi, I'm Scott Miller, Business Development Officer at Midwest Bank's Lincoln branches. As a lifelong Lincolnite with over 30 years of experience in financial management, I'm here to help your business grow and succeed. My focus is building strong relationships with businesses and clients across Lincoln. Because at Midwest Bank, we believe banking is about people, not just numbers. Visit us at midwest.bank or stop by one of our Lincoln locations. Your community, your bank. Midwest Bank. Member FDIC.
a lot of people in the summertime think, gee, I want to build a new home. By the time they go through the process of sitting down, getting the permits, and getting the home started, the home isn't done until January or February.
Bob Benish of Aspen Builders, and they've built neighborhoods in and around Lincoln for over 25 years.
I think the best time to start designing your new home is the month of January, because get an early start on it. Sit down, the snow's flying. Let's sit around the table. Let's drop some plans. Let's put numbers together. Let's get a budget put together, and let's get that thing started so that the home's done in summer or fall before school starts. So now is really the time to be contacting us to get an appointment to get the job done.
Make your dream a reality and call Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at aspenbuildersinc.com. Your dream home is waiting at Aspen Builders.
Now back to The Drive with Aaron Davis and Nick Sainert on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We are back for a very quick segment in history, and I tell you what, it shows you these days are history, because in 1976,
Nebraska former coach Tom Osborne, former Nebraska coach Dr. Tom Osborne, what do you think his pay was set at in 1976?
I hate these questions. 1977?
In 1976.
76.
What do you think he was making in 1975?
25 grand.
You're not far.
Really?
29,000
Okay.
in 1975. He was set to make 30,000. 918, but he rejected a larger offer.
No way.
Coach Osborne said, "No,
man,
that's just fine. That'll work."
The board of trustees didn't want to pay it.
he rejected.
I know he rejected.
Yes.
I know.
So he went from 29,000 in 1975 to
30,918 in 1976 after he rejected a larger increase. Those days, Swim, are long gone of rejecting that. And you just think about the salary, obviously everything, obviously in history for the most part, but in particular in collegiate sports and pro sports. And speaking of pro sports, it's kind of off the beaten path a little bit, but your Cubby signed a guy to a large contract. Fill him in real fast.
Alex Bregman's a Cub.
How much is that deal worth, Swim?
5 years, $175 million. Might have slightly overpaid. But it's okay. He's a Cub.
Here's 175. Slightly overpaid.
but hey, you know what the Cubs did?
How much guaranteed?
Well, it's all guaranteed. All contracts in baseball, all contracts in Major League Baseball are guaranteed. However, 70 million of it's deferred.
So he's kind of doing the O'Shea thing.
They're going. The Cubs decided, oh, you know what? We are a big market team. We can spend. They just traded away one of their top prospects, Owen Casey, to the Miami Marlins for a starting pitcher, Edward Cabrera. So that's a guy that Nebraska, Chicago is going to lean on. And then Alex Bregman, somebody that they tried to. There's a lot of drama going on right now in Major League Baseball, AD. And I'll be very quick because we have to go to break. But there's a lot of drama. The Cubs paid Bregman, offered him 5 years, $175 million this year. No opt-outs. There's a full no trade clause. Bregman's here for 5 years. Bregman's in Chicago for 5 years. However, how about this? Last year, the Cubs got turned down by Bregman, and he ended up signing with the Boston Red Sox. The Red Sox were confident that this year they offered him 5 years, $165 million. But here's the deal. He turned down the Red Sox because the Cubs offered him $10 more million.
That's a good reason.
However, but here's the thing. He played for the Red Sox last year. They thought that they were confident. Hey, you know what? The way we treated him last year, the way we're showing a long-term commitment to him, he'll be okay taking $10 million less to come play for us. Ended up not being the case. And he is going to be a Cub. How about this? How about this piece of information? The reason Alex Bregman wears number 2 is because he was picked second overall in the draft. The guy that was picked number 1 overall was Dansby Swanson in that same draft. Dansby Swanson, shortstop for the Chicago Cubs. Alex Bregman, third baseman for the Chicago Cubs. Both of them are on the same. The top 2 draft picks from that draft are on the left side of that infield for Chicago.
Phil says, I'm a big Cubs fan, but I will never get behind any of these Astro cheaters.
Oh, it's fine.
Matt says
he's one of us now.
Matt says preach swim. I know he's talking about Nebraska basketball. Our buddy from Iowa, 5253, says they were saying the same thing about Indiana football. Last year, things have changed. And Sheila in Lincoln, you are so true. I'm going to read this real fast. I didn't know the gentleman, but I knew of him. Raph knew him well. Jim Hartung, Nebraska's longtime assistant men's gymnastics coach, passed away on Saturday night. Nebraska says our condolences go out to Jim's family, friends, and everyone who he's impacted during his remarkable life in gymnastics, from a national champion athlete in Nebraska to an Olympic gold medalist to a successful coach. Jim is a true Husker legend, and his impact on the sport of gymnastics will carry on for decades to come. Our department will provide all available resource support for our men's gymnastics student athletes, coaching staff during this difficult time. Sheila, to all of the, thank you for bringing that in. I had it in my notes, but make sure definitely not to forget that. Our thoughts and prayers go out to Jim Hartung, his family, his friends, to those student athletes, to all those lives he impacted in young swim, not old at all. So he served as assistant for the last 19 years for Nebraska. He is a Husker legend. Our thoughts and prayers go out to the Hartung family. Rest in peace, dear brother.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
All right, Lincoln, if you're a diesel technician who's ready to earn up to $40 an hour and you're tired of working nights and weekends, listen up. Inland Truck Parts and Service is hiring experienced diesel technicians right here in Lincoln, and they're offering what every hardworking tech wants. Monday through Friday hours, no nights, no weekends, and paid training on advanced diesel technology. With 37 locations across 12 states, career advancement opportunities are endless. Start building towards your future and apply today at inlandtruck.com. That's inlandtruck.com. Or text APPLY to 785-369-1320.
This is your year to win way more than bragging rights. At Warhorse Casino, your love of the game could earn you serious cash. The Pro Football Frenzy is free to play with cash prizes all season long, like up to $1,000 weekly, with your chance at $1 million, all while earning tier points and comp points every time you place a sports bet. Only at Warhorse Casino. Wagers may only be placed on Nebraska-based teams when played outside the state of Nebraska. Must be 21 or older to gamble. Gambling problem? Call 1-833-BET-OVER.
Tomorrow is about the lessons we learn today. A farmer's market teaches us that community is grown together. Kids laughing shows us how joy is easy. And coffee on the porch reminds us to savor every moment. These are the lessons that shape a tomorrow we all share. One filled with trust, good company, and wide open dreams. That's the way banking should be. And that's Pinnacle Bank. Member FDIC.
MWR, a local company of Lincoln, is proud to announce they are able to offer their own post-frame building packages in metal to anyone desiring a building, whether you're a contractor or a DIYer. They can install your building as always, and they offer multiple different rib profiles and loads of color options, including the wood grain metal at great competitive prices. You can inquire at mwrbuildingandfence.com or just draw your desired building and submit it in their contact us page, and they'll get back to you. Call MWR today at 402-540-8966.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
Anderson Ford in Lincoln has 2 convenient locations, which means 2 times the customer service, 2 times the inventory, and 2 times the ability to get you in the car of your dreams. Whether you visit us on the north side or the south side, you'll find more selection and a team that's always on your side. When you're looking for a better way to buy your next Ford, visit Anderson Ford in Lincoln, where exceptional service meets unbeatable selection.
Bauer Underground has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know that the best workers in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and a pedigree of success. They're offering top-notch benefits, a matching 401k, and a $600 per year clothing allowance. Bauer Underground, a family-friendly company with plenty of room for advancement.
An emergency can happen any moment. Here's a few seconds to think about where you'd go. At CHI Health, we stand ready to care for any emergency. Our specialists provide expert care when you need it most and believe healing is more powerful when delivered with human kindness. When seconds matter, know CHI Health St. Elizabeth is accredited in stroke care and offers the region's only ER just for kids. Learn more at chihealth.com/St. Elizabeth Emergency.
Rick Heyman here from Sauter Heyman Jewelers. I want to personally thank our great customers for voting us once again the best of Lincoln. At the same time, we're celebrating our 120th year in business in the great state of Nebraska. You can count on Sauter Heyman for the very best quality, value, and customer service. When it comes to your jewelry needs, visit us at South Point, Grand Island, and the Outlet in downtown Lincoln. Visit us today at sauterheyman.com, and thank you for your continued trust after all these years.
Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road, just south of 14th and Highway 2.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. Welcome to The Drive with Aaron Davis and Nick Sainert. Former football national champion, speaker, and author Aaron Davis.
Pain is a teacher if you use it. And the lessons in the carnage of pain sometimes are elusive. They hide, they're stealth. The work is finding the lessons through the pain. There's always a message in the mess. Depends on if we want to get dirty and look for it.
Nick Sainert, driving left side is Boyer, picks up his dribble, looking for some help, decides to go up strong with it, and the layup will rattle home. Jack Riley picks the pocket of B.J. Bradford up the floor to Jack Hostreiter. Watch out! Mafisi in the lane, kicks it out. 3-ball, Townsley, right wing, it's good.
It's on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Folks, we are back. Swim has officially knocked out 75.
That is true.
Of the push-ups. Swim, I'm proud of you, man, because you're a man of your word. You take care of business. You're not trying to wuss out.
This is not easy.
No, it's not easy. It's not. You know what it's called? My mom would call them a bot lesson. You know,
I learned my lesson.
So where sometimes the exuberance and the youth, instead of really counting the cost of this, you know, I was watching the video back over and over again. And you agreed so easily to the agony push-up. You're like, oh yeah, I got those. No problem.
Because I didn't expect to have to do 595. Like if it was like 150, oh, that's okay. That's nothing. I'd knock that out in a day. It's knowing that I've done 75 and I still have 525 more to go, or 520. Next commercial break, we're gonna do another 25, and we'll be down to 495. Knock out 100 in the day. Yep. I'm gonna go for 125 each day.
Dude, you can do it. I'm proud of you, man.
We're there.
The thing that we always do, my older buddies. Fun. We always say agony or just number. We always say just number. Unless you're very, very confident.
Well, and like the reason I didn't want to do just number, I told you this, is because if Indiana wins by 13, then, I mean, 13 push-ups.
I think your chest would like that much better.
I don't know. This is probably good for me. This is good for me.
Well, Nick, we got breaking news. We get a little snippet of it. Give the updates to the fans and the astute listeners of the new Portal News, one of our former players.
Not a ton surprising. Dylan Raiola going to Oregon. The plan for him, and this is kind of the not the writing on the wall, I don't want to say, but not surprising to hear. The plan for him is if Dante Moore goes to the draft, then he's Oregon's starting quarterback in 2026. If Dante Moore ends up coming back to Oregon, then Dylan Raiola is going to sit behind him. And so that's the plan. And Nebraska, it's got to burn a little bit, right? Your quarterback just went to a juggernaut, a team that, granted, they lost, but they've been in the playoffs. And, you know, it's a place where Bo Nix was able to blossom. Bo Nix was able to really, improve his game and eventually get to
the NFL, and now the Denver Broncos are the number 1 seed in the AFC and stuff. But I tell you, it's going to be an interesting situation, because not only does Nebraska play at Oregon in 2026, but guess what? No matter what, in 2027, Dylan Raiola will be Oregon's starting quarterback, and the Ducks travel to Lincoln.
Ryan in Nashville does not share the same sentiment. You know, Ryan, I can get why some people have mixed opinions and things, and everybody's entitled to their own. Me personally, I wish the kid the best, man. Go shine. You know, if it's not, and that's not just to him, that's to every kid. I want every kid that was here, go someplace, go put in work. Because here's the reality of it, man. You get each player for 1 year, guaranteed. That is it. And I'm talking about just eligibility, not count injury. Think about a guy we haven't talked about, Mark Mackey, the kid that came from Iowa.
Mark Mackway, yeah.
Mackway. You know, he got hurt so sadly, just, you know, early in the season.
Yeah.
I don't wish that for any kid. And I'm not saying, my man Ryan, I'm not saying that insinuate you said that at all, but I can understand the sentiments of fans with mixed reactions. It's part of it. You know, I just wish him and all the other guys that were out there, hey, go shine someplace else. It's all good. I just dial into the guys that are currently here, and there's been quite a bit of them, man. So, again, man, I wish the young man the best of luck.
Yeah.
Dylan, go shine, young man.
And Corey in Lincoln brings up a good point. He goes, why do you assume, and he's talking to me, Dante Moore is going to the NFL? I don't. Just looking at it objectively, Dante Moore did not play well these last couple of weeks in the playoffs. However, depending on which board you look at, I don't know how he could be ranked the number 1 quarterback in the NFL draft. I think Fernando Mendoza has that one locked up. But I think I saw Mel Kiper's board said that Dante Moore was still the number one draft quarterback on the rankings list, things like that. Now, I don't buy into the whole like, hey, I'm not going to go to the draft because I don't want to be a Jet. The signing, you can talk about all the NIL money you want. But if that signing bonus is, we're talking $24-25 million. You don't turn that down. I would find it shocking if Dante Moore doesn't go to the NFL. I would also understand why. Dante Moore probably could use another year of development at the college level. But I think, Corey, in all honesty, think about the way that we talked about the 2026 quarterback draft class at the beginning of the year in comparison to the way we're talking about it at the end of the year. Things change dramatically. We expected Arch Manning to be up there. We expected Cade Klubnik to be up there in the draft rankings. We expected this to be a much deeper NFL draft quarterback class. And then it is right now. And sometimes you have to just judge it and say, this is the best time for me to go. But either way, Dylan's going to be there. Dylan's going to be at Oregon in 2026. I think it's great for Dylan if he is able to sit a year. I think it'll be great for Dylan, especially at a place like Oregon that's been able to do this. He'd be taking the Dante Moore route. That's exactly what he would be taking. And when Oregon brought in Dylan Gabriel, they brought Dante Moore in from the transfer portal from UCLA to sit behind Dylan Gabriel for 1 year, and here he is. And now, granted, Will Stein's not going to be the coordinator there, as the Arizona State head coach. Kenny Dillingham was the offensive coordinator before, but it shows program bigger than any one coach or player.
You know, Ryan in Nashville, I'm with you, man. I can't stand the way that college sports is. And Nick, what I've had to do, man, is just mentally just almost like callous myself and just say, you got this person for a year, and that is it. There's been a lot of action in the portals of right now. Of course, Dylan is on his way to Oregon. Danny Kaelin, you know, what did you think about Daniel Kaelin coming back from Virginia? Once was here, then went to Virginia, and then back. It seems like all point signs back to Nebraska. What was your thoughts on that, Swim?
I think it's good. I think Nebraska needed another quarterback. They got to keep on building this quarterback class.
Bellevue West grad.
A Bellevue West grad, started his career here, played a very small amount at Virginia. And I think it's good. I think you saw, you know, a couple of Nebraska preps guys were both in the portals. Zane Flores from Oklahoma State was in the portal. He ends up going to Iowa State, and Daniel Kaelin ends up coming back from Virginia to Nebraska again. I think it shows, once again, you don't burn a bridge. You just don't burn a bridge. And he might not be in line to be the starter, or the backup, but this is going to be, I mean, if we wanted to use comparisons for this season, Daniel Kaelin is this year's Jalen Gramstad. Maybe not in terms of the experience piece of it and stuff, but third on the depth chart. I think Nebraska they offered a JUCO guy. I want to say I'm blanking on the name. I apologize, but they offered a JUCO guy. If you want to use comparisons from this last season, kind of the Marcos Davila type, if you will. So I'm more fascinated to see what happens at 1 and 2 with Calandria, and then obviously with TJ Lateef, because you don't bring in a guy like Calandria and expect him to be number 2. And so TJ Lateef still in that room, and then 2027 comes around. Maybe they're pitching the same thing to TJ as they are pitching to Dylan at Oregon, where it's, hey, come sit for a full year, maybe red shirt this year, and then 2027 is TJ Lateef time.
I'm not going to go through all these because we'll save a lot of these for tomorrow too before we go to Corey Brown. But a few more names. You got a long snapper out of Michigan State, Jack Willis.
Yeah.
Brought him into the fold. Redshirt freshman, Dylan Parrott. He hopped into the portal. Redshirt junior, hopped in the portal, hopped back out. Defensive lineman, 6'3", 6'5", 315. And the one that's intriguing to me is Jason Shiggs out of Towson. Small school out of Maryland. And, to think about those guys from smaller schools, Swim, you think about Marshall, how well he played this year for us at defensive back.
Yeah.
Those guys play with a chip on their shoulder. I did have a chance to watch some of Jason's tape, and not by no means my saying I'm some, connoisseur of knowing defensive back and safety plays, but talent when you see it. He kind of jumps out on you on film. All right. You can consider all the other factors, but this young man that is a ball hawk, 6'1", 175, had interest from other schools as well. So I'll be interested to see how Jason Shiggs plans out here at Nebraska from Towson. Real ball hawk, and is not afraid to put his nose in and go make some hits. And before we transfer to the D-line coach, were you surprised that Willis McGahee came back in the fold? Went out, came back in. The 6'2", 235 sophomore is back in the fold at Nebraska.
I think it's a position of need. Nebraska needs some dudes, excuse me, to step up in that linebacker room this year. And they brought in a couple of new guys. We talked about them the last couple of weeks, right? You talk about, you bring in guys like Dexter Foster as well, Will Hawthorne, who's a linebacker, Owen Chambliss, a couple of experienced guys there. You need somebody to step up and really take that room by the throat. I think it was a little bit of a down year for a guy like Vincent Shavers, dealt with a couple of just kind of banged up injuries and things there. Marquise Watson-Trent might not have panned out the way we expected it. A guy that had 3 100-plus tackle seasons from Georgia Southern did not necessarily pan out the way that maybe Nebraska expected it. Javen Wright had himself a nice year, but in 2026, Javen Wright's not going to be there. And so it's who's going to be able to step up. I want to get to some of these texts from the text line, and the new coach stuff isn't quite official yet. But that's kind of the expectation, is that they have their defensive line coach. But here's what some of the text says about Dylan. I want to say this. He wanted the easy way. Good luck to him. Doesn't make Oregon better or worse. He's coming off of injury. Didn't want the route. Didn't want to take the hard route, I think is what they mean. He wanted the easy way. Jordan from Wilbur says he will be good at Oregon, but he needs to be on a juggernaut like Oregon to be good. He's not the playmaker that his star rating would suggest. John in Southeast Lincoln says, good morning, guys. You have to admit that more eyes will be on Dylan at Oregon than there were on him at Nebraska. Ryan in Nashville says, Dylan just cannot stand being a silver spoon player. Got to be the best on the team because he's better than everybody. Can't ever deal with a little building block or adversity. I disagree with that take quite a bit, Ryan. And I actually, Ryan, I appreciate you listening and everything, but Dylan just can't stand not being a silver spoon player. I would say he's less of a silver spoon player at Oregon than he is at Nebraska. At Nebraska, he's instantly one of the more notable pieces on that roster. On that roster. At Oregon, I would say that there are multiple guys that are more proven and well-known. Mateo Uyunglele on the defensive side, Tatum Tuioti.
There's going to be pressure.
There are dudes there, and understand the quarterbacks that you're following. We just talked about it there, where they've had good college careers. Not even talking about the NFL, but you go back, Justin Herbert, and then it was Bo Nix, and then Dylan Gabriel, and then now Dante Moore. If you're next in line, You talk about pressure at Nebraska. Now here's what I would say about Oregon is that there are investments made on a completely different level than there are at Nebraska. And that's just being as transparent as possible. And so I honestly hope, and I said this, I think a lot of the hate that Dylan got shouldn't have been directed at Dylan specifically. I think that Dylan wanted to be a part of this thing. And I think that there's some truth to Dylan wanted to be at Nebraska, but there's also a time, and for parents out there, I understand that I can't speak to this, but AD, you can better than I can. There's got to be times where you need to assess the situation and go, okay, if our end goal is, in this case, to get to the league, is my quarterback at the best possible place for it. I will tell you guys right now, I don't think this is a problem to say. He's not getting paid the 3.5 that he was getting paid here to be at Oregon, to be a potential backup. I am 100% confident in that. And so if we can't sit here and say this is about the money. This is about development. And yet another indication that maybe Nebraska's coaching staff needs to, hey, light a fire under them and let's start developing some of these guys so that we're not having these conversations.
Like I said, it's going to be interesting out there in Eugene. As you mentioned, Nick, you are following a number of decorated QBs that took the helm there for Oregon. So there's going to be a lot, in my opinion, there's going to be a lot more pressure there because their success. You know what I'm saying? Nebraska, let's just call it what it is. Nebraska has not reached that pinnacle of success in years, as far as that goes. And there will be a lot of eyes on him, Eugene, regardless of what he does. Again, my thing is, man, I wish the kid the best. To me, I'm like I said, it's the guys I got here I'm concerned about. But you have to talk about it because it's news.
You do. And I
news.
think just naturally, I mean, this is a big time player, quarterback at one of the more polarizing positions too in the country. That's making a commitment. Also, a college football playoff team that just got eliminated is now the new home for your former quarterback.
And your chest feels that.
Yeah. So thanks, Oregon. Right? No, I just think. Excuse me. I think that if you sit there and think that this decision was purely about money, then we just can't fly. Like that's just not not the case.
All those quarterbacks you just mentioned, that is one of the reasons why
well,
they have a very good history of sending guys to the league.
Let's have a conversation about Kenny Minchie again, right? Like Kenny Minchie, it was reported by Max Olson of ESPN that he was told by Minchie's camp that Nebraska offered more money than Kentucky did. What does that tell you it's about? At some point, like we can continue, and I say this all the time in AD, I think you believe in you fall in line with this as in the sentiment, but I don't want to speak for you, is that we can complain and whine about the NIL and how college football is broken because of the money that these guys are getting paid, and that's rightfully so. And this is a much larger conversation than just Dylan Raiola. But we can complain about the system and how it's broken and how these guys are getting paid so much money and how they're just following the money only. Sure, maybe that's true for some guys, but we also, the same way we throw them under the bus, we have to be understanding and we have to be honest with ourselves that for some guys, it is about development. It is about winning. It is about getting to the league. And somebody on the text line said Dylan's going to be in the league regardless. Is that, but it's, how do you get to that second contract? It's where's my best opportunity to get to that second contract? And I just think that, once again, Nebraska's unfortunate in a tough spot that only time will be able to heal this part, AD, to where the development piece and putting guys in the league, Nebraska isn't the strongest in some of the key positions, offensive line, quarterback, defensive line. They haven't been great at putting guys in the league. Ty Robinson is one, right? And then you look at the offensive line and there hasn't been really anybody in the last decade plus that's been able to stay in the league and be notable other than Cam Jurgens.
Swim, you mentioned the importance of guys to where the NIL is not the end-all be-all for a lot of guys. And I couldn't agree with you more. You spoke correctly when you shared your sentiments and mine as well. I agree. And you look at Minchie that decides to go to Kentucky. He decided for him and his camp, it was better development down there. I'm also going to say this. You look at Brian Hartline, the former receivers coach at Ohio State, who is now at USF, University of South Florida. There are a number of guys who, and obviously Ohio State is not missing anything, missing anything as far as money. However, me and you both know, most of us know, some of those receivers could have got more at other places, but they looked at the body of work. that Hartline has put in the past close to a decade that he was at Ohio State.
Yeah.
What are my chances? You know, now obviously receiver's a little different, obviously a little different tools in the tool bag than quarterback. However, what is not indisputable is the fact that Hartline has a magnificent track record, and the receipts prove it. He gets receivers to the league. He gets them there. You bring this back to Oregon right now. Lanning and company have shown they historically get quarterbacks to the league. It's a system, it's development, it's a process. And that's just the way it is. So everybody, like the reality is, like I said, we don't know for sure numbers, but I could probably go out on this pretty strongly and say he's not getting the money out there that he was going to get here, that he was making here.
No.
So it shows you, to your point, Nick, yes, they're going to get paid still, but some of these guys realize I'm trying to get to the league.
Yeah, but because NIL, there's a lot of money in NIL, but at some of these positions, there's a lot more money at the court. Like when we talk about the Dante Moore conversation, right? If we're sitting here, there might be a lot of money. He might get a $5 million NIL deal, or Sorsby got reportedly at Texas Tech $5 million, right? And there's a lot of loopholes, and with the Nike money and Phil Knight down there's a lot of things that they can work through and tie it to where maybe it doesn't directly come from the revenue share, and it goes maybe through their multimedia partners and things like that. There's a lot of loopholes that maybe just the casual fans like us don't even know are a possibility to where they can pull some strings and get some more money for guys. But I think that when you look at Dante Moore in that conversation there, when you're talking about this, isn't like we're having the conversation of Dante Moore being a day 2 NFL draft guy.
Right.
It is, are you either the first or are you the second quarterback off the board? That's the conversation around Dante Moore. I find it really tough to think that he's not going to go. But even if he does, I think that's good for Dylan's development. I think also everything that we talked about that Dylan needed, the biggest thing was that Nebraska, and this isn't because of Nebraska's fault, it's the situation that Matt Rhule's kind of put in, and I'm not blaming anybody for this, it's just the way it all panned out. They kind of had to throw Dylan into the fire right off the bat, and they might not have had the guys around him that they necessarily needed to build around a quarterback like Dylan. Now, ideally, do you want Dylan to stay, or do you want a 5-star quarterback to stay and show faith in your team? Yeah, but at also some point, I get it's a team sport, but you got to figure out what's best for the outlook of your career. And these things go in such small windows, and all of it's about timing.
It's fast.
AD, here's the deal. If Dylan Raiola doesn't take advantage of an opportunity at Oregon, guess what? There's probably 30 other quarterbacks that would.
Oh, absolutely.
And so you got it's all about timing. It's all about windows and trying to figure out, is this the best possible move for this exact moment? And they feel like it is. Wish them the best. And you know what? When they come here in 2027, and when Nebraska goes in 2026, there's no doubt you hope Nebraska wins, and maybe there's a little bit of extra motivation there as well.
It's all about fit, man. Fit in development where it's at. Byron, what's up, man? My boy Byron, the Hog Farmer. Big shout out to you last week. I didn't mention this, Byron. Big shout out to your cousin, though, man, breaking the scoring record at Norris. Garner Jr.
Oh, nice.
His dad played in Nebraska. Garner, and I think he did it with a dunk out there, Byron. And Byron, you mentioned about the defense. Willis probably be a DN and 4-man front. There's a lot of things you can do with Willis McGahee, man. That dude is athletic. He's quick. If you remember, he had the almost had the strip fumble against Ohio State a year ago. Ball bounced back up to the line. Their offensive line ended up getting it or whatever. But nevertheless, Byron, man, shout out to your family, man. Big shout out to Garner Jr. at becoming the Norris all-time scoring leader in basketball out there. So, folks, when we come back, we're going to dig into this absolute juggernaut that Cignetti's put together with Indiana. We're going to discuss that dismantling, what took place there, a smidget of NFL as we close later, because we'll talk about that a lot tomorrow. We'll be back. It's The Drive, 937 The Ticket.
Anderson Ford in Lincoln has 2 convenient locations, which means 2 times the customer service, 2 times the inventory, and 2 times the ability to get you in the car of your dreams. Whether you visit us on the north side or the south side, you'll find more selection and a team that's always on your side. When you're looking for a better way to buy your next Ford, visit Anderson Ford in Lincoln, where exceptional service meets unbeatable selection.
Golfing in 72 degrees and perfect conditions in Nebraska doesn't seem possible in December, but it is. Double Eagle Golf is your escape from the bone-chilling cold outside and a reason to keep the clubs out year-round. Book your holiday parties at Double Eagle Golf and make plans to join them for a New Year's Eve party. Gift cards make a great stocking stuffer for Christmas, and don't forget to look ahead to 2026 as spring leagues begin in February. That's all at Double Eagle Golf inside the Kinetic Sports Complex on West O Street. Online at doubleeagle.golf.
I am Harrison Arns, producer of Ticket Weeknights and Weekends right here at 93.7 The Ticket. My favorite things to do in downtown Lincoln are checking out all the local sports events, whether it's basketball, football, volleyball, or even Lincoln Stars hockey. I enjoy it all because I get to experience one of the best sports communities in the country.
This message is brought to you by the Downtown Lincoln Association and 93.7 The Ticket.
Are you tired of living in pain? At Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery, they make it simple. From head to toe, spine to extremities, they've got you covered. Their multi-specialty team of experts in orthopedic surgery, plastic surgery, podiatry, physical therapy, and occupational therapy all work under one roof to get you back to living life pain-free. Don't wait another day. Visit prairie-ortho.com today or call them at 402-489-4700. Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery, where healing begins.
Is your furnace ready for winter? Call Bryant to perform a thorough check for comfort and peace of mind. 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. Whatever it takes.
Back Nine Golf in South Lincoln is the premier indoor golf experience in the state. The weather in the winter months is cold, windy, and as unpredictable as a tee shot on the 450-yard par 4. With top-of-the-line full-swing simulators and a PGA teaching professional, Back Nine Golf is there to help you improve your game and lower your score. Back Nine Golf is open to the public with 24/7 access for members. Learn about Back Nine's variety of memberships today and see the facility for yourself at 7501 South 15th Street in Lincoln, just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Back Nine Golf, your premier indoor golf and events destination.
If you're seeking a career with a growing company, Gaina Trucking and Excavating is hiring and looking for additions to their team. Gaina Trucking has a strong team culture, competitive pay, 401ks, and benefits like health, dental, and vision. Drivers are guaranteed 40 hours per week, even in the winter months, and are home every night. Start your career today at Gaina Trucking and Excavating. Apply today at gainatrucking.com.
It's the Nebraska Deer and Game Expo, January 16th through the 18th at the Sandhills Global Event Center in Lincoln. Come see trophy deer, hunting seminars, hunting and outdoor exhibitors, a 3D archery tournament, enter the blind giveaway, and more. The Nebraska Deer and Game Expo, presented by Whitetail Properties Real Estate, January 16th, 17th, and 18th. Learn more at nebraskadeerandgameexpo.com and find them on Facebook. Come to the Nebraska Deer and Game Expo, January 16th through the 18th in Lincoln.
An emergency can happen any moment. Here's a few seconds to think about where you'd go. At CHI Health, we stand ready to care for any emergency. Our specialists provide expert care when you need it most and believe healing is more powerful when delivered with human kindness. When seconds matter, know CHI Health St. Elizabeth is accredited in stroke care and offers the region's only ER just for kids. Learn more at chihealth.com/St. Elizabeth Emergency.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs, from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197. Assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket immediately after every Nebraska men's basketball game for 1 hour of post-game recap. The Nebraska Basketball Postgame Show is sponsored by Union Bank and Trust, John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electrical, and the Lincoln Airport on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Empire Netting and Fence delivers top-quality netting and fence solutions. From major sports venues to backyard installs and everything in between, coast to coast. We take on tough jobs with grit, integrity, and a strong commitment to safety. Empire is growing, and we're hiring motivated people ready to grow with us. We build each other up, and we're building something big. Think you've got what it takes? Apply now at empire-fence.com. That's empire-fence.com.
Finally, a good reason to have a smart house. Just say, Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket, and we'll magically start playing. How's it work? Nobody knows. Don't ask questions. Now back to The Drive with Aaron Davis and Nick Sainert. on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, folks, we are back on this magnificent Monday. We did kind of the breakdown, recap what we discussed. Of course, we discussed Nebraska men's basketball. Come from behind win there at Assembly Hall. They disassembled, moved some furniture. As Coach Hoiberg says, boys win at home, men went on the road, and they definitely did that. The women had a tough one last night. They fell to number 4 ranked UCLA last night at home. They will take on Michigan State in Lansing on Thursday night. So hoping the ladies get back on the winning track. Another top 20 opponent. So they will be tested once again on Thursday night there in Lansing, Michigan. We've discussed the transfer portal, of course, with some of our transfers, some of the people we got. Me and Nick will go into that more tomorrow. The big news as far as the transfer portal is one who's leaving rather than coming. That's Dylan Raiola, lands at Oregon Duck, and we had those discussions as well. We'll talk more about Nebraska's potential because that's not been official from the athletic department yet on their duty defensive line hire. There's a lot of things online and, a lot of sources, et cetera. But we want to make sure we get confirmation before this is the official. Always like to be as correct as much as we can. And we do make some mistakes sometimes, but we own it.
Very few.
We own it.
We're almost perfect.
Well, someone who didn't make a lot of mistakes was Indiana.
Yeah.
Swim, they have outscored their opponent. They have won by 69 points combined in their last 2 outings. I mean, they absolutely obliterated Oregon 56-22. That last touchdown by Oregon saved you how many push-ups?
About, I think, 300. Whatever the small multiplication of 7 is.
It
7, then 6, then 5, then 3, then 2, then 1.
I think
so
it saved you quite a bit. DF had a number for us, and I forget, but I think it was close to 800.
I would say at one point the push-ups were like 861, and now we're down to 495. We just did our 100th.
Nick has knocked out 100 push-ups since the beginning of the show, and I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
You own it up to your
I'm gonna try to do 25 more after this break, and then we'll be down.
Good.
I know the shirt's fitting a little tighter than it did when I put it on this morning. It's called inflammation.
Folks, the game was total domination in all 3 areas of the games: offense, defense, special teams. And this game was reminiscent when they played, Nick, when I was thinking about when they played UCLA earlier this year. Their first play of the game, they intercepted and took it to the house. They did the same thing again. In 11 seconds, they scored. They take the pick, take it to the house. And Swim, personally, I don't think Moore's eyes looked the same after that pick. I mean, he looked lost. He was flustered. Fernando Mendoza, of course, was just being Fernando Mendoza, 17 of 20 passing, 5 passing touchdowns. He was near perfect decision-making. He had a fumble that slipped out. One of his own offensive linemen jumped on top.
Yeah.
Nick, he goes home for the title game. What's your thoughts on Mendoza and just your initial thoughts on the game? Obviously, we joke and stuff like that, but just real initial thoughts on this game.
If Indiana plays any similarity to what they did on Friday, Friday, it's over. There's nobody. Indiana is. They put up the graphic, and I think this is a little far-fetched, of 2019 LSU and Joe Burrow's season. We forget Joe Burrow had 60 passing touchdowns in that season. And they had Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase on each side of the perimeter to catch footballs. Indiana might not have that, but Indiana is as complete of a team as I think we've seen in a long time.
Swim, it's hard to dispute that because the pick six on the first snap, and then like I put very similar chart earlier this year, 3 first-half turnovers led directly to touchdowns.
Yeah.
Held Oregon to 9 rushing yards at halftime, Swim. Now, granted, Oregon had 2 of their top running backs out for that game. However, 9? That's all that defensive line was going to allow was 9 yards. And we talked about the importance of third down conversions. Remember on
100%.
Friday.
We talked about third down conversions and we talked about turnovers. What happened on the first play of the game?
11 seconds to the his house.
Yeah.
Oregon
to the his house.
Oregon briefly tied it at 7-7.
Sorry, Jay-Z.
They forced a fumble at the Oregon 3-yard line, touchdown. Forced another fumble at the Oregon 21-yard line, touchdown. The lead at halftime.
Let's give them a short field to work with. One of the best offenses in college football. Let's see if that
5-7
at the half.
There's still a lot of game left.
There was a lot of game left. You know, they just did everything. And the thing about Oregon's Nightmare Night, you know, they were, like I mentioned, they were short-handed on running backs, 2 backs out, but still Dante Moore was under pressure relentlessly the whole time, multiple turnovers. They were constantly off schedule and behind the chains.
Yeah.
And against a team like Indiana, if you find yourself off schedule and behind the chains, they are going to turn up the heat even more. Swim, here's one thing. And if you haven't done a lot of deep diving on Cignetti, I'd encourage you to do so. Their practices are only about 90 minutes.
Oh.
He does not believe in dragging things out for 2.5. See, first of all, I'm not saying that's the right way. I'm not saying this person over here is the wrong way.
Yeah.
I'm simply saying everything they do is efficient. The way they put in work. We're going to put you out of your misery very quickly, and we're going to make you like it.
Yeah.
And they play that way. They play fast. They play ferocious. They play violent. They don't make many mistakes, and it's all 3 areas of the game.
They're Nebraska basketball. They're Nebraska basketball. Not frauds. Indiana football, Nebraska basketball, not fraudulent. Handshake emoji. Fred Not Hoiberg says it sounds like another push-up challenge for the championship game. Hey, only if I could pick Indiana this time. Only if I could pick Indiana this time.
Fred, he won't be done with these yet.
Yes, I will.
You think he'll be done with these by the 19th?
Yes.
So in 7 days.
Yes. It's 495 push-ups in 7 days.
Here's going to be the kicker, though, Swim.
What's the breakdown to that?
Let me ask you this. When's the last time you've done 100 push-ups consecutively?
Today.
But I mean,
let's see. When did I graduate high school? 2019.
So here's what I'm saying is, but you're young, you can do that
tomorrow.
All that lactic acid in the chest is going to be interesting to see what it feels like.
You know what my thoughts are. So, this is something that's good for young baseball players out there. Is after you throw a lot, what's really good for your shoulder? Obviously, the stretching, the ice, right, all that stuff. What's really good for your shoulder, though, AD? Running, right? So my thought process on all of this is I'm going to knock these out. I'll knock out about 125 today. Knock out 125. If I end up, there might be a chance tonight when I'm just sitting at home. I might go, you know what? I can knock out 25 right now. I'll videotape them.
I was going to say.
I'll videotape them and send them to you because they got to be witnessed.
There you go.
100%. I'll videotape them and send them to you because I might just sit there and go, you know what? I can knock out 25 right now.
I just don't do it during the Steelers game today.
I might.
No.
I might.
Nick, as the executor of this bet, I can deem to where no, it's not going to be during 7 o'clock to 9:30.
Well, I'll just send them to you after the game is over.
Okay.
I can videotape them anytime.
I want to make sure they're videotaped.
Yes, I'll videotape them every time. Do you want me? Would you rather me FaceTime you or videotape them?
No, videotape.
See, yeah, because you don't want to FaceTime. Yeah.
Well, because FaceTime me,
you have to pay attention.
Yeah, I have to pay attention. If Nebraska, like I said, if the Steelers are getting blown out, we can do whatever.
We can do them together. You can take some of them off my plate.
Actually, might do that. IQ Crew, one of the aces that Miami has up their sleeve is they're playing the CFP championship at home. Something Husker fans and former players are very familiar with. You're exactly right. Having said that, Hoosiers roll.
Yeah.
Swim may have more push-ups
to
do.
No, I'm going with Indiana in this game. No. Hey, if I run into Kurt Cignetti at St. Elmo's again next year, I'm going to say, look, man, you made me do 595 push-ups last year because you guys won so badly. Not because you lost a game, but because you won so bad.
Yeah, Swim, this team, getting back to them, there was a sellout crowd of, think about this, 75,604 fans. I looked on Indiana's, one of their social handles, their game against Wisconsin in 2023. Swim, I don't think they had 15,000 people at the game.
No.
And to see they have 75,000 and you do this in less than 900 days.
Yeah.
You have a Heisman Trophy winner. You're the Big Ten champions and you're playing for the national championship.
Yeah.
And you were the losingest collegiate football program in history. And here's where you're at.
And in real talk, AD, I think that nobody expects when we talk about turnarounds and coaching jobs and things like that. Any sane and realistic person, we can sit behind this microphone and go, okay, yeah, you know what? We don't expect so-and-so to get to a national championship in year 2.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we don't expect that. The realistic thing, though, is you don't try to sit there and tell me it takes 5 years to turn around a program.
Well, Nick, hold that thought because I want you to respond to this. Me and Joe Green, first of all, I love this name because being a Steel City guy, not sure if you got that, but I love it. He says, what does Nebraska have to do Dadgummit, I went off of it.
That's fine. I got you. What does Nebraska have to
Okay,
do to get past its current reputation? We have players taking open roles for less money. It's clearly not a coaching problem. Big picture, is it possible administration-wise we're off on all of this collectively? I would lean towards, is it a coaching problem? I think there's just been a disconnect. I think there's a disconnect in what Nebraska says they want to do and what they actually want to do. I think that there's a lot of times we have a situation to where Nebraska, coaching wise, they sit there and they'll tell us that they want to do this because they know that if the fan base hears it, they'll appease it. It'll appease the fan base. And then they get out there into when the bullets start flying and then they, kind of go back to what they want to do. We're going to learn a lot in 2026. I think Emmett Johnson did a really good job of forcing the coaches to give him the ball because every time he touched the ball, good things happened. And every time he didn't touch the ball, not so many good things happened. And so we're going to find out in 2026. There's a blueprint here. Nebraska's offensive line, they've invested in it. This is going to be an offensive line that has, when we talk about NIL money, has quite a bit entwined. And so we're going to find out just what they want to do offensively in 2026. And then we're going to look back on 2026. And if it doesn't work, there's going to be a lot of fans that sit there and go, okay, there's been 3 years of this. And yet we're still asking the same questions you were asking before year one.
DF chimes in.
Year four.
It's a coaching issue. You know what, Slim? To answer Mean Joe Green and DF as well, the lack of stability will cause instability. I know that sounds like a dumb question.
Are you talking at the so
I'm talking the amount when you have 3 defensive coordinators
bingo.
in 3 years.
That's my point. I wanted to make sure we were talking about coaches and not players'
yeah.
instability.
Because you can't. I mean, there's only so much you can control.
And that's something you're going to have to deal with. Stop making excuses for something that everybody has to deal with.
Your instability in coaching has caused your instability and stability as far as performance, and we're seeing that. You can't have this. And I'm not saying that the way it was planned. No, what I'm simply saying is, man, you have got to evaluate which coach fits our system. Is it a fit? And can this guy develop? Do they have a history? Do they have receipts of developing? And you know what, Nick, I'm not one of those who get caught up or was he coaching at a helmet school? I didn't give a flying fart where he was coaching at. You thought I was going to say something else, didn't you?
Hey, yo. Yeah.
I don't care, like a fart. I don't care where he was coaching at. Can he coach and develop?
Yeah.
That's my only thing. And you cannot miss. I'm sorry, Swim. We have missed on some guys.
Don't be sorry to me.
I'm sorry, folks. we all know that. It was protein cups on. We've missed, and you cannot miss 3 consecutive years. Some of those players heard 3 different types of vocabulary, vernacular terms, systems, schemes. There's times I'm sure a lot of them were like, okay, was this under White or was this under Butler or is this under Stone? You got to eliminate that because every one of those teams that are playing the playoffs, of course, there's attrition everywhere you go, but not 3 coordinators in 3 years. Those are things that you got to get corrected, and it starts with bringing in the people right away. So until Nebraska stabilizes their instability, we will keep seeing unstable performances and results. Hopefully, to your point, that changes this year. So Mean Joe Green, I think it's probably a plethora, maybe a mixture of all the above, but they've got to get this thing fixed, man.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's wild. I think it's about time though we go to break. I got another 25 push-ups waiting for me.
I was wondering why you're taking so long.
Yeah,
I see your chest over there just rippling.
You got 100. This is 100 to 120. Wait, no. Have I gotten 125?
No, you owe 25 right now.
I know, but I've already done 125, right?
I think you've done 100.
Have I only done 100?
Well, I got it on video.
Okay, yeah. I think I've done 120 because I did the middle segment, third, 4. Maybe I've done 100.
I think you've only done 100. But
we
nevertheless,
have to check the video.
That's
check the tape.
Check the tape.
Film never lies. Film never lies.
We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Scott Miller, Business Development Officer at Midwest Bank's Lincoln branches. As a lifelong Lincolnite with over 30 years of experience in financial management, I'm here to help your business grow and succeed. My focus is building strong relationships with businesses and clients across Lincoln. Because at Midwest Bank, we believe banking is about people, not just numbers. Visit us at midwest.bank or stop by one of our Lincoln locations. Your community, your bank. Midwest Bank. Member FDIC.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills Global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Empire Netting and Fence delivers top quality netting and fence solutions. From major sports venues to backyard installs and everything in between, coast to coast. We take on tough jobs with grit, integrity, and a strong commitment to safety. Empire is growing, and we're hiring motivated people ready to grow with us. We build each other up, and we're building something big. Think you've got what it takes? Apply now at empire-fence.com. That's empire-fence.com.
Don't wait. The clock is ticking at Landmark Implement's annual inventory reduction sale. For a limited time, get special financing as low as 1.9% for 12 months, then 6.2% interest for 48 months on select equipment. No auction, no waiting, just inventory price to move. Once it's gone, it's gone. Visit Landmark Implement or shop online at landmarkimp.com. Then click on the featured used equipment and experience the Landmark difference.
I am Harrison Arns, producer of Ticket Weeknights and Weekends right here at 93.7 The Ticket. My favorite things to do in downtown Lincoln are checking out all the local sports events, whether it's basketball, football, volleyball, or even Lincoln Stars hockey. I enjoy it all because I get to experience one of the best sports communities in the country.
This message is brought to you by the Downtown Lincoln Association and 93.7 The Ticket.
Hey guys, this is former UFC fighter and mixed martial artist Anthony Lionheart Smith. The Upside Bar and Lounge in South Lincoln is the go-to spot for every UFC event, prelims, and main card. There's never a cover, so make sure you get there early and stay late. Upside Bar and Lounge has daily specials, a margarita club, and a taco club. And don't forget, they just added Buzz Bowls to their menu. Learn more about upcoming events by visiting UpsideBarLNK.com and stop into their South Lincoln location for every UFC event on 27th and Pine Lake.
This is your year to win way more than bragging rights. At Warhorse Casino, your love of the game could earn you serious cash. The Pro Football Frenzy is free to play with cash prizes all season long, like up to $1,000 weekly, with your chance at $1 million, all while earning tier points and comp points every time you place a sports bet. Only at Warhorse Casino. Wagers may only be placed on Nebraska-based teams when played outside the state of Nebraska. Must be 21 or older to gamble. Gambling problem? Call 1-833-BET-OVER.
It's the Nebraska Deer and Game Expo, January 16th through the 18th at the Sandhills Global Event Center in Lincoln. Come see trophy deer, hunting seminars, hunting and outdoor exhibitors, a 3D archery tournament, enter the blind giveaway, and more. The Nebraska Deer and Game Expo, presented by Whitetail Properties Real Estate, January 16th, 17th, and 18th. Learn more at NebraskaDeerandGameExpo.com and find them on Facebook. Come to the Nebraska Deer and Game Expo, January 16th through the 18th in Lincoln.
An emergency can happen any moment. Here's a few seconds to think about where you'd go. At CHI Health, we stand ready to care for any emergency. Our specialists provide expert care when you need it most and believe healing is more powerful when delivered with human kindness. When seconds matter, know CHI Health St. Elizabeth is accredited in stroke care and offers the region's only ER just for kids. Learn more at chihealth.com/St. Elizabeth Emergency.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see mostly sunny skies and light winds. It'll be mild, a high near 58. Tonight, mainly clear skies and a light breeze, the low around 36. And tomorrow, a few sprinkles will be possible. Otherwise, increasing cloud cover, be breezy and mild, a high near 61. I'm meteorologist Kyle Flecker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
At Parkview Animal
Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just their professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at PAHLincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, their passion for happier, healthier, furry friends.
Concrete Industries has immediate job openings for precast production laborers and maintenance technicians. Concrete Industries offers great pay, health benefits, 401k, a wellness program, holidays, and paid time off. Apply today to earn a starting pay of $21.50 per hour plus a $1,500 hiring bonus. Concrete Industries is hiring all experience levels and offers on-the-job training. Start your career today as a precast production laborer or maintenance technician. Visit concreteindustries.com.
Back Nine Golf in South Lincoln is the premier indoor golf experience in the state. The weather in the winter months is cold, windy, and as unpredictable as a tee shot on the 450-yard par 4. With top-of-the-line full-swing simulators and a PGA teaching professional, Back Nine Golf is there to help you improve your game and lower your score. Back Nine Golf is open to the public with 24/7 access for members. Learn about Back Nine's variety of memberships today and see the facility for yourself at 7501 South 15th Street in Lincoln, just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Back Nine Golf, your premier indoor golf and events destination.
Now back to the drive with Aaron Davis and Nick Sainert on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Riders! Thank you for riding with me and my man Swim this morning. It's been one heck of a ride. We covered a lot. Nebraska men's basketball takes care of business once again at Assembly Hall. They disassembled a lot of things. Women dropped to number 4 UCLA last night. Raiola is on his way to Oregon as their next he'll join them as their next teammate.
There's a lot of people asking about the whole, like, he's an Adidas athlete. How does he go to a Nike school? Adidas, the contract there is simply just off the field stuff. He just got to wear Adidas off the field. It's Nike on the field. If he's representing Oregon, off the field, it's got to be Adidas. So a little bit of difference there. So unless Nike wants to pay him out of his contract, but I don't think they want to yet.
You know, talking about paying out of contracts, I think it was Sorsby had $1 million buyout.
Yeah.
LSU
LSU just got their quarterback, Sam Levitt.
Mm-hmm.
Sam Levitt officially going to LSU, so Lane Kiffin gets his quarterback.
Oh, there's a lot of moving parts. And, folks, there just kind of recap, there is a dead period right now as far as portal, no visits, et cetera, because the coaches are at coaches convention for the next 3 days. That will pick back up again, and you can expect to see a lot more going on until the closing of the 16th. In the player, both Miami and Indiana haven't listened until the 19th swim for their portal, for them those guys extension. Or
yeah, I believe so. I believe it would be, well, they don't play till the 19th.
The 19th.
So I would imagine
I think it's
20th.
I think it's the 20th or 21st.
Yeah.
I'll look that up to be sure for you on that back. Those two teams have extensions for obvious reasons. They're playing in the Natty. Folks, the 80 attitude adjustment for today is this. You know, and I was thinking about this as I wrote this down earlier in a story on Instagram. If you follow me on there, I enjoy doing a post pretty early. It's Aaron Davis, Attitude Expert. Aaron Davis, Attitude Expert. But I posted, anxiety is a signal, not a solution. So when you're feeling anxious, folks, don't do something to make yourself more anxious. Maybe it's a signal to pause, to plan, to pray, whatever your background may be as far as faith-wise. But anxiety is a signal. That's it. Listen to those signals because they rarely are wrong. Swim is listening to the signal in his chest right now. He just knocked
125
out,
down.
125. Folks, he did 5. And then he went, oh.
I felt muscle failure. I felt muscle failure. I just go, oh. Something little, those little twinge in my tricep.
Hey, so real talk though, man.
Yeah.
Stretch.
I will. Yeah,
Because you
I'm
won't
serious.
feel it.
I'm gonna get that. I'm gonna get that vest on. I feel like I need like I gotta walk down to like Walgreens or something here, get a protein shake,
Get that lactic
and
acid
and I got to take advantage of this. I got some muscles that are tearing. I got to get some protein in me. Start to build this up.
Yes, indeed. Folks,
I'm gonna walk in, Matt Dow. I'm gonna walk into Matt Dow this Friday, and I weigh in, and he's gonna be like, "Nick, you gained 8 pounds of muscle. What happened this week?" Made a bet with AD. Made a bet with AD.
Signetti happened. Google him.
Yeah, exactly.
Folks, there's a big matchup tonight. My beloved Steelers take on the Houston Texans at 7:15. Houston is favored by 3.
Give me the
AFC
Steelers.
wildcard game. We shall see if I'm in a good mood tomorrow or not. But actually, folks, I'm kind of used to it, so we'll see what happens.
You're in the playoffs. Shut up. With 15 seconds, take us away.
Folks, this is The Drive. Thanks for riding with us. Have a magnificent Monday. We'll be back tomorrow.
Go Hog Wild Pit Barbecue.
Hog Wild has a delicious way for you to enjoy beef brisket. It's our open-faced hot beef sandwich. We start with our grilled Texas toast. Add a scoop of creamy mashed potatoes. Load them up with some tender Hog Wild beef brisket and top it off with our tasty brown gravy. It's absolutely delicious. Hog Wild Pit Barbecue, 3210 Cornhusker Highway in Lincoln.
But don't be late, we close at 8.
I am Harrison Arns, producer of Ticket Weeknights and Weekends right here at 93.7 The Ticket. My favorite things to do in downtown Lincoln are checking out all the local sports events, whether it's basketball, football, volleyball, or even Lincoln Stars hockey. I enjoy it all because I get to experience one of the best sports communities in the country.
This message is brought to you by the Downtown Lincoln Association and 93.7 The Ticket.
Are you tired of living in pain? At Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery, they make it simple. From head to toe, spine to extremities, they've got you covered. Their multi-specialty team of experts in orthopedic surgery, plastic surgery, podiatry, physical therapy, and occupational therapy all work under one roof to get you back to living life pain-free. Don't wait another day. Visit prairie-ortho.com today or call them at 402-489-4700. Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery, where healing begins.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and wow, what a year it was at Koppel. The Koppel family would like to say thank you for a record-setting sales year in 2025. Now let's start 2026 off with a bang. New GMC Sierra pickups starting at $12,500 off list or 0% APR. Also hot off the presses, new Terrain leases at $299 per month. That's right, $299 per month on new GMC Terrain leases. So please stop on in the store or online at koppelcars.com. Stock numbers G138852 and G16518. 2,500 down with proof credit.
The 2026 Love Nebraska season is underway, and professional volleyball is back in a big way. From powerful serves to game-changing rallies, every match brings elite